Hey guys, welcome back to more House Flipper. Let's see. We are going to be focusing on doing gardening today, which I do enjoy, but is very... I don't know if meticulous is the right word, but there's very defined things that have to be done for each garden competition. Oop. All right. First things first. We're not starting on this one because this one I might actually lose my mind on. I decided to do the English garden on it because it's got a decent amount of space going through it, so I feel like we could get a lot put down here. But we're not doing that first. We got to start with our camping bungalow. Let's see. Hold on. Bear with me one second. Okay. Making sure everything is chill on Streamlabs because I mildly panicked that I forgot to turn my mic on again, as I always do. Like, I feel like I only forgot to do that once or twice, and I still worry that I haven't done it. But also, I do want to point out that the game does calculate exactly how much time you have spent on this game, each of your houses. So, obviously, our first office normally would have the most in it because this is going to be where you spend the majority of your extra time. I feel like most people probably start with renovating this one, since it's the one you're living in. Also gives you a breakdown of how much the house originally cost you. So originally we paid uh, just over 28,000 for this little shack of a house. We've put little under 500 into it. We haven't done the gardening contest yet, and we have been here almost 4 hours. It does still say the rooms as it was originally when you bought the house, by the way, because I know on the first office it still says 2 rooms. We have 3 now because we do have a separate kitchen. We remodeled. The pictures are still going to be the same ones as it originally was when you first got the house as well. Alright, camping bungalow. We bought it for just over 35,000. We've spent almost 1,000 on reno. 3 rooms. Is that still accurate? Yes, because we have a combined living kitchen area. Oh god. Is this how it's going to go today? Combined living and kitchen area. I think the game also calls it a kitchenette. I'm not sure. What I am sure of is we are doing the modern garden on this one. Oh, I think it'll fit with the decorations we have already done on this house. Please don't crash, game. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I think it'll fit with the furnishings we've already done, because we've got kind of... Well, we went a little heavy with the blue in here. But as far as the bedroom goes, we went more... this thing I was more trying to match with some of the other stuff, but to me this looks more modern than some of the furnishings we could have gone with. I feel like a modern garden would suit it. Honestly, the English garden would also probably suit it, but... Okay, first things first. Yeah, I'm not gonna force myself to do more than one English garden today. Okay, so modern garden, we need a metric fuck ton of gravel. So you've got your 3 tabs up here. I don't know if they've added more tabs with more DLCs. You've got your actual house construction items, so you've got pools, walls, windows, all of your various installation things, all that good stuff. This is also where you find your ceiling, your doors, you know. Then you've got your actual, like, furnishings, and then our garden tab, which is what's going to be our primary thing to focus on today. So we're going surfaces, stone aggregate, yes. Let's see. I want to put down a stone aggregate to cover the whole thing first. Like I said, we are getting rid of all of the grass. Everything will be stone. Let's just go with the the single colored gravel. I like the square just because it's, I don't know, it's easier to get into like nooks and crannies with the square. You can also do the circle if you want, but modern is supposed to be like straight edges, no curves, all that good stuff. So just to give me a little bit of extra insurance. We're also going to go with the smallest one because this is just going to be like a primary layer. You can use your mouse scroll to get itty bitty, not so itty bitty, a little bit bigger, maximum. And we're just going to cover the whole damn thing. Also, I am being gifted a fuzzy backrest or headrest right now. How are you, sir? Are you enjoying my chair? Yep. Enjoying my chair? He is enjoying my chair. I do wish you didn't have to sharpen your claws on the chair first, but, you know, you are a cat, so there's only so much I can do about that. He's also an old cat who's set in his ways, so, you know, fun stuff. Okay, we're just gonna sprint around. This layer I don't have to be as, like, careful or precise with, because I'm literally just applying it to everything to make sure we cover all of our bases. Have to be careful in this front area. We can't... Ah. See, sir? You make me sneeze. He has absolutely no cares that he makes me sneeze. Alright. This garden is supposed to be all about symmetry. So what we're probably going to do after I get this first layer of gravel put down is start sectioning off things. It's one of those situations where the whole thing doesn't have to be even. But let's say I'm going to use this little bit that's left as a example. Like, let's say this is the area of our house, right? We've got our front walkway up here. We don't have to, like, section off each ones and make, like, each section equal and symmetrical, because that did take me a minute to realize. But what it means is if we have a section over here, let's say, that has... Okay, that's not even at all, but let's say we have a section over here that has, like, a one wide gap on one side. We have to make sure that there is a one wide gap all the way around, or one wide section of tiling all the way around, what have you. Okay. So let's say I did a situation like this where I've got this big space right here and I put, I don't know, hold on. Let's say I put a pack of, because we have things like this in here. It would also be in surfaces, I believe. We have these guys right here, which are slabs of flooring. Let's say I have one of those. Come on, pull. There it goes. I've been playing too many different games. My brain is confused on keybinds. Let's say we have one of those in a pattern all the way around, or just even like 2 or 3 of them side by side. We need to have that same thing on the other side, so it is completely symmetrical. But we'll get into more of that in a minute. First things first, working around these poles is kind of a pain in the ass for me. Somebody out there may have figured out a better way to do this, but like, I don't think the game's gonna count us off too many points if we don't have these small little pieces of grass that are sticking up around the pole still there, but it does bother me, so, you know. Also, it is absolutely gorgeous outside, and my family has been out and about off and on, so if Athena starts borking, that's what's going on. She's just, you know, yelling at my family for being outside, minding their own business. As she do. I'm not gonna lie, putting down the whole sheet of gravel is my favorite part of doing the modern garden. Because I can just, like, no brain thought, just walk. The only time I have to use my brain any for this section is when I get right up on top of things. Or when I come back to do, like, little finishing bits. Now, it does get more meticulous, like, say we were trying to edge a different section, I have to be very, very careful. Because as you can see, I'm not moving direction, but we're not staying in a completely straight line. Actually, that one was pretty straight. It depends on the map. Sometimes it changes. Really, are you gonna do right for me now? Now that I'm pointing it out to people? Never fails. Okay. Either way, I do need to be careful because somehow I don't usually stay in the lines. Whether it's the game or a me problem, we'll see. It's probably a me problem. The sound of putting down gravel just sounds like grabbing up a handful of rocks, and I kind of like it. It's kind of soothing. Also, the game saves every so often, like auto-saves, which I appreciate, but it does mean that if I'm doing something, it kind of like stutters a little bit, and I have to go back. It has kind of gotten me in trouble in the past where I accidentally did something I didn't need to do, but it just means I have to, like, replay around with things. And donezo. Or at least with that little section. At the very least, I should say. Okay. Do we have any big items we have to place today? We do have a few big items we have to place, so we can kind of plan those out to help us figure out the layout of the garden. We need a few modern fountains. Sorry, I'm checking my notes, and I have them out of order. Like I said, the garden competitions for this game, I don't know if there is anywhere in-game where it specifically tells you what items you need for each garden type, but I have not found them. I did have to look up a guide from other people who play the game in the past, and since I've done that already, you know, whatever. I have my notes written down from that. As you guys should know from my Stardew stuff, I have no problem whatsoever getting advice from other players, wikis, tutorials, whatever it may be. The only game I haven't done that for so far has been, I want to say No Place Like Home. Partially because I'm kind of getting that vibe that I got, or not that vibe, but the feeling I used to get whenever I would play like a new Harvest Moon game, or the first time I played Stardew. And honestly, so far that game has been pretty good about explaining things to me. So I haven't really felt the need to look up anything on it. Aside from a couple of odds and ends that I'm pretty sure that most of it was just me not paying attention. I can't English today. Okay. Last little bit, and then I'll do like a little cursory glance around the garden to make sure I got everything. I think we got everything. I think I'm as close there as I can get, which is kind of a shame because there's like a little tuft of grass right there and it's annoying me. Anywho's. Let's see. Is this the original paint color? Or did we change it? Okay, never mind. I can't look that up here. I'd have to go back to the house. So I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to assume it's the original color and we haven't changed it yet. So let's see. We want wall panels. What are the ones? No, okay, there's none offered from just gardening. Alright. Back to my old organization option. Okay, if we're going modern, what color do we have? We have white. If we're going modern, then I think... I don't know, that might be way too much. I don't really like doing a house all black or all white, because it just feels like too much. Kind of feels like you need something to break it up, you know? What do we have to work with? Most of the stuff at the very bottom is going to be the stuff from luxury. Which makes sense that it would be at the bottom. That stuff's supposed to be more expensive. What screams modern? Because I really want to get the house color on before we start on the gardening, because otherwise it's going to make it a pain in the ass to do it later. Do we want to go with, like, a yellow? I don't know. That might be too much, too. You know what? Fuck it. My first instinct was to do all black for it. So that's what we're going to do. I don't know if this is going to be enough tiles or not. But worst case scenario, we have to sell some. Okay, never mind. It's got, like, kind of a blue hue to it. At least in this lighting. I don't know why, but it feels like the image made it look like... Yeah, the image made it look like it was going to be a lot shinier than it is, and that's part of the worry I had. But I think that might just be... Oh, stop trying to type things. Like I said, I have my keybinds confused from other games. It's like every game has a different option to open your menu. Which is mildly confusing for someone like me. Can I get behind that? Thank you. I think we definitely need, like, a back deck area coming off the bedroom. Or at least a path leading from the bedroom to a back deck area. Because this is still a pretty small house. So we kind of need somewhere for if this person has guests over for them to go hang out. And also a place for them to just, you know, step outside and relax. But also, this is a video game, so none of that really matters, but sometimes it makes it a little bit more interesting when you're decorating or designing things if you think about what kind of person would be likely to buy this house or who you would want to sell it to. Like, who do you picture buying the house that you're designing? What do you think they do for fun? Especially if you're not going off of the buyers that we have available, because, like, these guys have very set... I kind of want to say personalities, but it's more like their likes and dislikes, because, like, we've got... Family Johnson. They haven't bought anything from us, so we don't have any information on them either. But, I mean, mom and dad, grandma, at least 3 kids that we can see. They're not moving into this house. This house is way too small for them. We know that much. Chang Choi. Oh wait, does it give a little break? Yeah. It gives them a little breakdown. Married couple in their mid-30s with 3 children and a grandma. We've got Chang. He is 20-year-old student, only thinks about his studies. So, probably doesn't want... Like, he's probably not bringing people over if he's only thinking about his studies. It feels like, for him, house would be just a place to come home, do his homework, and go study. I am kind of privileged to extra information since I have played before and I know what some of his likes and dislikes are. Because this man loves green, and I love decorating for him, so I really like the green tones in this game, so I really enjoy doing stuff for Chang Choi. We've got Dolan. He's a 56 years old, tax official. He's a real Scrooge. He's so boring. He wants everything to be as cheap as possible in all of the house, except for his office, which he wants the most luxurious stuff, the most expensive stuff. He wants a nice office. He also I want to say he prefers everything to be, like, really monotone. Like, not too colorful, not a whole lot of decorations, aside from the stuff that actually are needed for an office. We got Giorgio. He's 27-year-old, stylish, looking for a modern and stylish house. This guy is buying up houses for rent. So, for the buyers that are in-game, you do have a little bit... Honestly, designing a house for Veronica is pretty fun, too. I feel like this house would be a good one for Veronica. Loves non-conventional stuff. 30 years old, artist. She likes decorations, fun colors, all that good stuff. So that's kind of who I had in mind when I was decorating this house, is Veronica. And she definitely seems like the type of person to me to have people over. So, or at the very least, like, to treat herself to a nice, relaxing, I don't know, break outside, or however you want to say it. Anyways, that should be all of the panels we need. It is nighttime, which is mildly annoying. So we need to decide. The fence is over here. Let's see, surfaces. Okay, so we've got things like turf sod, so if you either have a messed up or burned patch of yard where the where the grass isn't at anymore and you want the grass back, or if you had put down your stone aggregate and you wanted a nice clean line or strip of grass somewhere, you can use the turf roll for that. It comes in multiple sizes. We've used it before on a couple of the jobs we've had. We've got our stone aggregate, stepping stones, which we will come back to in the English garden, sport slabs, or sport surfaces, which are just very plain concrete. I don't think it's actually concrete. I think it's like a semi... It's not concrete. I want to say it's something that maybe has a little bit of give to it, but I'm not 100% sure. It's not quite the same as concrete. You can tell just by like the texture of it. Because the concrete in this game has a very defined texture. It's got like more of a shine to it. It's less dimpled. But this is the section we need. Let's see. Really and truly all we're doing right now is just deciding on one of these that looks good. Because these should all give us a nice clean edge, so I'm not worried about that portion of it. These herringbone ones could be fun, but they don't always line up quite right, and they honestly kind of annoy me. And also, it's got the grass texture in between them, which could work. No, it's not grass. Never mind. I'm crazy. From back here, it looked like grass texture. It's this one that has the grass texture in between. It's like... Okay, I don't think that's actually meant to be grass, but it has like a greenish tint to me. I might just be crazy, guys. That's a possibility too. Some of these with very defined like textures and designs don't always line up, and it is a little annoying. But it's just something you've got to kind of work with. Let's see. Let's go with... What about this guy? Honestly, I can already tell just by the patterns on it that it's going to drive me absolutely bonkers because it's not going to line up correctly. We could just go with the decking. You get gray, beech, oak, cherry, black, or dark walnut. But since we've already got the house painted black, I don't know that we want to do anything that's going to distract from that. Okay. Herringbone caught my eyes first, so let's do herringbone. We're just going to stick with the white. Like I said, this gravel was just like an initial texture that we put down just to kind of get all the grass gone. Okay. Hold on. I'm trying to make sure it's not popping up because sometimes it interacts weirdly with the doorway. We want her to have, like I said, I'm keeping Veronica in mind for just decorating this house and doing up the yard and all that good stuff. See what I mean? But it doesn't quite line up. It's like just slightly off. Yeah, just slightly. Just enough to annoy me. Oh, come on. There it goes. Like I said, you've got to fiddle with them a little bit, but not that big a deal. Now, if I lined that up, where would it come in at? I feel like it would come in around here somewhere, which means it's probably not going to line up correctly, but let's just see if we can get it to line up at least a little bit correctly. I can always come back and fiddle with these once I've got them in place, so not the end of the world. Or we can also sell them and try something different. That's also a possibility. Worst case scenario, we could just use gravel to make a new path upwards. It's just slightly not going to reach. Hold on. Do we have like a half-size one of this herringbone? We have a half-size for a lot of them. Let's see. Herringbone. It's not quite half-size, and it's also not quite lining up. Okay. I'm going to move these down. Can we line you up slightly better, please? Alright, that might be as close as we can get for right now. Does that mean... Oh, no, that's not... That means that's going to be off-center. That's annoying. Okay. Screw that. What we're going to do instead, for the sake of symmetry, we're going to move these guys right over here. So I haven't wasted any money. Okay, that is completely equal on either side of the front of the house. Like I said, symmetry is a big thing for the modern garden. I think I'll hold off on selling any extras of these we have, because we might, just for, like, cohesiveness, use these same pavers on any other little platforms we do. Like I said, I wanted to kind of give them... Oh, we only have one extra. Nice. I kind of wanted to give them, like, a little... Like, we have all of this yard over here, so we could give them a little, like, quote-unquote hidden relaxation area. Because it does want us to use modular couches and matching tables anyways. So they're obviously going to have a sitting area, so we might as well make it look good. And we're also going to have, like, some modern fountains, which we could work these in spots for. Hold on. Let me see something. I can use this to help me outline a good sizing for the path. Surfaces, let's go with... Hold on. Stone aggregate. Let's just go with the two-tone gravel. Smallest square. Okay, so that is actually almost perfectly the size of the paver. It's a little bit off, but that's okay. Okay. I'll have to come back and, like, nudge that over. Or be very careful placing this down. Okay, you go over there. I think I've gotten all the use I need out of you for right now. You know what'll be awesome? When it's daytime again and I can see without having to use my flashlight. Because I can't tell as much detail as I would like. But we've got this path now. We can line this, because we also need to use a bunch of ornamental grass. I think there was something else we were supposed to use, but I might be crazy. I didn't write it down, so I'm going to assume I don't need bamboo. Because there's two different gardens that require bamboo. The Japanese garden and it's either the modular or the American garden. One of the two requires that. Because you get points based off of equipment, layout. There's a third thing I can't remember off the top of my head. Either way, that is down. I think I need to stick with one section at a time. Or what I could do... Hold on. I'm going to switch to bark, smaller thing of it. Let's see, how big do we want this to be? How big is this? Okay, that's a good size, I think. We're just going to outline this in bark so I have a defined area to put our ornamental grass in. And we may come back and change some colors later once I've got everything in place. And start seeing how it's going to come together. Crap. Alright, I'll come back and do the very front in a minute. While I've still got this size, I want to go ahead and line up this side of it. Like I said, symmetry is the key thing in this one. So if we've got ornamental grass on one side of the entry, we've got to have ornamental grass on the other side, and we've got to have this same strip of bark down. Because I want to say the modern garden's not a hard one to do, as long as you don't get lazy with it and start putting things down really sloppy. So like I said, symmetry is the key one for this one. So we're going to go slow, take our time. Okay, now we can start lowering the size down. Okay, keep that edge lined up. Dang, we're too close to the fence post there, so it's not going to want to work for me. That's okay. Oh, come on. There it goes. I'm gonna have to come back and fiddle with this little section because it didn't want to place down because it's already saying that this is the same thing. Sometimes that makes it act up for me. Okay. Go for this side. Oh. This one's way too close to the fence post, apparently. So that's as good as I can get it there, which does kind of suck because I still hate that I see tufts of grass everywhere, but whatever. Alright, ornamental grass. Plants. And again, the plants are divided up similar to how our surfaces were divided up. Oh, not structures, thank you, plants. So we've got tropical, which is going to be like agave, palms, cacti, all that fun stuff. I really haven't worked with too many of these aside from the bamboo, because none of the garden competitions, at least from the information I have found, call for them. But I kind of want to use them, so we might go freestyle with it and just see how it does for us for a garden competition. Or just ignore the garden competition. That is a possibility too. We're going to save something like that for later on when we've got more money where we can afford to not do garden competitions to get income. You got your needle plants, so this is going to be our conifers, our deciduous. Also got some bonsais. I know it's only showing coniferous stuff, so they might just be combined based off of the plant shape. Or I might be crazy and deciduous stuff is in a different section. We got our leaf plants, so shrubs, bushes. Some really pretty parasol and dwarf weeping trees. More bonsais, because honestly, I think this game really loves bonsai trees. Which, to be fair, they are pretty nice to look at, so, you know. We've got flower beds, which we will be getting our fill of when we do the English garden, because we have to use basically all of these. And I do mean basically all of them. The only ones I don't think we really will use too much of is some of these big potted ones. We might not use all of them. And then the vines we only need on the house. So we've got the single vine, regular vine, and then thick vines. We're going to have to pick which one works best for the house we're going to work on, which is going to be the first office. Edible plants, this comes in for, you can do a crop garden. And they are a little picky about that as well. Surprise, surprise, they are picky about the garden stuff. Which does make sense, because the whole DLC is about that. I do wish it was communicated a little bit better. Like, maybe if there was some kind of, like, course or training we could do, or if some of the jobs we had specified what we needed. But they don't. And then we've got our decorative grass, which is the main thing we need right this moment. For this little entryway section, I'm probably not going to use anything too tall. It does tell you how tall things are, so this one is 1/2 meter tall. You do have different colorways you can use as well. So, fairly decent size, but a little too big for our purposes right now, because I don't want it to stick out too much. This one is 0.3 meters high. This one could work a little bit better for us. I definitely think it could. It's a little small dude, so we might come back to that one. This one's another 0.3. Could also work with that one. We've got blooming grass, which I think could definitely work. Right, this one is 2.5 meters tall. This is a big boy. Like, compared to us, a fully grown human, or compare it to the front door. That's a big boy. And I don't think that's even the biggest one. No, it's 2.5. Well, how big is the pampas grass? Okay, never mind. For some reason, my brain was thinking the pampas grass was really big. Why was I thinking that? Ornamental broadgrass. That one's just a little too wide for my purposes right now. Anyways, so the point is they all have different heights, they all have different looks, they all have different colorways once you go inside them. Also, on the edible plants, it's the same thing. So carrot, the colorways are carrot and root parsley. Let's see. Not all of them are like that. Obviously, lettuce is the same. The tomatoes are the same. Let's see, which one was ribes? You can get black currant, red currant, or white currant. There's another one that had multiple colorway options. might be crazy, though. Okay, I might be crazy. Back to decorative grass. 0.3, 0.3, 0.3. I think that's probably going to be the maximum size I want to use for this little area right here. So we do have a blooming one that I want to use. Come on. Day's starting to break. I'm going to place that one there. And one there. Up to the very front. One there, and a little bit closer. One there. I'll center this one a little more if I can. Nope, that's as centered as I can get it, so I'm going to leave it there, because otherwise it's going to be too far over. We're going to go with this guy in... That colorway looks like it's a little... Yeah, that one's similar to what we've already got down. A little bit of space between them. Yeah. Let's see. And do I want to mix in this one in... That could be fun. Yeah, we'll go with that one in that red tone. And I think we might even go for the green tone as well. Place the green tone down, and then we'll come back in and put another one of the red tone down on the either side of them, and then we'll come back in with our smaller ones. Because ultimately, I want to have the blooming grass in the very center. I don't know how well that's going to work with our layout. I might have to work things around a little bit, but that's okay. Alright. I think from there I can probably... Back to our home page, and it was this one, correct? Yep. How much space do I have between everything? Just barely touching. So I'm going to place that one, that one, that one. I could come back in with the regular grass instead, but I really like that blooming grass. It looks very nice to me. So that guy. Crap. I have to move that one because something nudged me. I might have been just standing on something. Alright, so we've got our entryway now. Or I say entryway, but our path to the front door. We've got some extra sections that we could work with. Let me see something. Like I said, I'm not going to worry too much. Oh, I went into other things, so that's okay. I know which things we were using. We were using this guy. So I kind of want to create a path around to another area. Let's see. How much space does that give us as a gap? That's about the same amount of space around, so we could put grass leading around. Because I do kind of want to have like a decorative border around the house. I think that looks nice, generally speaking. It's too wide. Again, trying to keep my stuff as even and equal as we can. We'll probably come back in with that, what's it called? The bark again, and go around the sides. Once it's not the only strip of bark down, it'll look less weird. Alright, and we want to do the same thing, leading around to the other side. Looks about even. Athena is very, very mad that people are outside. Okay, I'm gonna have this section over here, which is gonna be a weird fit. But I think what I can do... Yeah, I think I could actually make this spot... into its own little section right here. I don't know how well this is going to work for our layouting, or the general layout of this area. I might be messing up here. We'll see. I didn't make... Okay, making sure I didn't have a gap. Okay, we go one more further. This house didn't have that indent right there. This would be a lot easier. Alright, I'm just gonna make these two meet. That should be... Yeah, that's even spacing right there. Hello, Athena. What you click-clacking back here for? You tired of staring out the window and getting mad? Hmm? Ma'am? You know you're too young to be the grumpy old man that lives on the corner of... That's not lined up. Hi, honey. It's still not lined up. What was that for? Huh? Why did you come... let me ask you... You were too cute. You were too cute. I gotta ask you, though. Why did you come all the way back here when your dad is still in the living room? Are you bored? Okay. Alright, guys. We are gonna take a slat break. Oh, wait. Never mind. Drew to the rescue. Drew to the rescue. No, you don't have to close the door. She's gonna get mad. I have been locked into the bedroom now. Because Athena's getting mad. As she always do. Actually, could I just... I don't know if I want to keep this as, like... a separate thing or not. I really don't know. Because, like, part of me wants to keep it lined up. I'm gonna place that there for right now. Oh, that's not lined up, though. Let me line it up first, and then I will place it. Can I line it up? Can I line it up? Like I said, you have to, like, play around with where everything's placed. Alright. I was gonna turn this into a little deck situation, but I think instead... I can probably get away with just... turning that into a separate section. We'll see. We will see. Worst case scenario, the game says no, and it looks ugly. According to the, you know, the rules of the garden competition we're in. Or going to be in, rather. But I can reuse these guys. Here we go. Because again, when you sell things, you do not get your full money back. It depreciates the moment it touches your hands. Okay, we need... was gonna say we need one more, but... Well, yeah, it would be one more because that's just not lined up correctly, that's all. I see, I see. I'm learning. That would be even, but we've got this spot right here that's... Yes, okay. We can make it work, though. Let's see. How far out did I put the other side? I think we put it out... 1, 2, 3, 4 wide. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 wide. Okay. It's just gonna be our little back stoop area. And then we can have other things running off of that, like I said. Surfaces, aggregate. It was this dark bark. And I'm honestly not going to worry about getting it too perfect since we've got the papers. But I actually don't know if that applies to the game. Like, can it tell if I have things uneven underneath things? Interesting. I haven't really tested it before, so I don't know if I have to be super lined up or if I can do things like that where I just completely nudged myself on the wrong direction. Like, if we took these papers up, there's probably like a little zigzag of bark down there. And you know what? I really wish putting down mulch and bark and stuff was this easy in real life too. Like I just walk in a line and it perfectly forms nice and even for me. Okay. There's a little bit of an edge in some spots I'm trying to smooth out. Okay. I'm gonna hold off on that spot for right now because I don't know what I'm gonna do there. I might just fill it in with bark. Or we could use this space to put in some of the bigger grass. That could work too. Alright, we're just gonna put it down. If we get a deduction for layout, I'm gonna blame this section and nothing else. No matter how egregious any of our other errors are. I'm just gonna blame it on the weird shape of the house in that one section. Alright. Let's go with some more grass, because like I said, this garden wants a lot of grass. Decorative grass, please. We're gonna go with... Dang, because they're not all... Even if they're tall, they're not all super duper wide. Just by looking at them, though, it's hard to tell. Sir? Hi. What you need, sir? Just attention? Hello, needy cat. How are you? At least he's just being needy and not being a menace. Hector was being a menace earlier today. He has tried to climb onto my desk multiple times, and he has attacked my hoodie strings multiple times. But by God, he is living his best cat life today. I cannot English. This would be a good section for some of these, but I don't know for sure because I kind of still want to keep that line of the small decorative grass, at least up close to the house. I don't know. We'll see. We were alternating between orange and green here, right? Or red and green. I was staring at the orange one too. But we don't have to keep it exactly the same as the front path. I just think it'll look more cohesive if we do. Alright. What I'm gonna do, start at the front, because these are defined spaces that I can very easily see. It's the spaces directly in the corners. Of where the two lines of paving meet. We're gonna go for, I think it was the more yellowy green, wasn't it? Oh, you matched up. No, it was this green. Okay. Alright. Have it touching more on the, like, lining up the edges of the grass blades with the pavement itself instead of the other grass, because that'll help me get the spacing down too. Okay. Back to red. Okay. Now we'll bring out the blooming grass. We had it in this one right here, the kind of more yellowy green. It's going to be a lot of back and forth for this one, but that's okay by me. Like I said, the ultimate downfall for one that requires symmetry is rushing. We want the plain one and the... Do we have a more yellowy color one? Is this the color? Hold on. That is not the color. Excuse you. Which color did I use last time? Was it this one? It was this one. Okay. Mild amount of space. Mild amount of space. I don't know what I mean when I say mild amount of space, but that's the words I'm saying. That's as even as I can get that. We'll go back to our decorative blooming, the yellow leaves. Place that. Place that. Round to the other side. And then I might come in with some more of those grasses as well, closer to the middle. I did say we didn't have to keep this exactly the same. Wait, which one only costs $1? Because there were a couple of these plants that were only like 50 cents. Also, how's it going, Aiden? Place that there. Hold on. Place that there. And there. Bring in the green one. Is that the right green? Yes. We have a more vibrant green for these bigger pieces. More vibrant green. Alright, and then I think we're going to stick with mostly the smaller ornamental grass. So it's this guy. No, we need the blooming one. Blooming, yellowy grass. Boom. foam around the other side. Is it already becoming night again? Also, you can turn the day-night cycle off. But I'm not going to do that unless it gets too annoying. Which it might while we're doing the garden stuff. I don't know. And then we can do 2 of the blooming directly in the center on either side. Oh, those are slightly off. Hold on, did I start? Yeah, I think I started drifting slightly with some of these. I think it was these bigger ones that got me offline a little bit. That's fine. It's close enough. Close enough. Like I said, I'm already going to blame this section if we get points off for layout. Then we got blooming, blooming. I'll come back and find something to put in that little section. Blooming, blooming. And that section could be good for one of these slightly bigger ornamental grasses. So we've got this guy right here. We'll go with this variant, which I've never really used. I think I can get a couple of them in there. Okay, I can basically get 5 of them in there. Okay, that's fine. That is good enough, in my opinion. I do need to decide where the rest of this stuff is going to go, though. I was like, I don't think up front we would want too much, like, obviously we don't really want to put the sitting area right up front. I don't know. Some people might enjoy sitting in their front yard. I personally, just based off of living off of a major highway my entire life, don't really like being able to be seen by every passing person. And especially, I feel like it would be even worse in a neighborhood. Because, like, I don't, like, go out and talk to people. Where we're currently at, it's all my family outside. So I'm not too worried if they come and chat me up. Where we're going to be moving, at least 2 of the people know me very well. One is my uncle. Obviously, he should know me very well. So he has occasionally just popped over. And the neighbor directly across from us has known my family for probably longer than I have been alive. Matter of fact, she used to run the daycare that me and my brother went to when we were kids. So she has definitely popped over. She's actually come over to see us more than my uncle has. So I don't necessarily go out to find people. They tend to wander over to me. That might be because I'm mildly a hermit. I say mildly because I do still leave the house, you know, because I like feeding my family. Alright, side yard, where would be a good spot to put things? We could split this section of the yard in half. I don't know what would be the best way to do that. Because like I said, we need a sitting area with modular couches. The couches in question are furniture. Let's just go to sofas. No, not sofas. Although I think we could probably use the Tinto sofas. I think it's actually, yeah, it's actually in armchairs instead. But it's the right corner, left corner, and just straight up armchair Tintos. And the Merity. They are modular, so you fit each of the pieces together, you know. And then we use the magic tables for them. But they're not necessarily small, especially once we get, like, a couple of the pieces segmented together and we have the table So we do need a decent amount of space. We've also got fountains to put in. And I still need to get conifer plants in. So let me see something. Just search by coniferous. We don't need the trees. So any of the big stuff, that's a no-go for us. We don't need those in our lives. I still don't know if when it says not trees, if it still applies to the bonsai. I feel like it would, because I've only ever heard those referred to as trees. But they're not, like, super big. Which, I mean, a tree doesn't have to be big, but, like, they're in their own little pot. I think I'll just stick with, like, the shrubs. We can get some of these column shrubs in, too. We just need to avoid... I don't know, the guide said not trees. And the cone cuts look very tree-like, and some of these, like... That's a tall, they call it a tall coniferous shrub. Narrow cone cut. Motherfucker, that's a tree. That's not a shrub, that is a tree. Like, compare it to the house. That's a tree. But it's called a shrub in the menu. Okay, I've gotta figure out where the coniferous stuff's gonna go first, because that'll help shape the layout too. Actually, I'm curious. Let me see how much space we have to work with these shrubs, because we could line some of the areas with it to kind of break it up and give the illusion of privacy. And maybe we could do like a small cone shrub, one that is very obviously not a tree, in each of the corners just to give them somewhere to meet up, because these won't, like, the measurements will be off if we don't. Right, this is the longest one available. This is also the longest side of the yard, though. Because kind of what I'm trying to do is make two sections coming straight off of the side here that meet up. Help me divide the space up. Let me shoot. You know what? Let me get this guy back out real quick, because I need to see something. That still leaves us with a lot of space. What about the small one? Also, there are two different types of coniferous shrub that we can work with. The one I just had, I want to say, was the 1.5 meter tall. There's also a 1 meter tall one, which is, I want to say, not that much shorter. Oh no, I still had the 1 meter tall. Never mind, I'm crazy. What about the 1.5 then? Oh, that's a tall boy. Okay. We'll stick with the 1 meter. We don't need it too tall. Okay, this one will probably give us a little bit more flexibility. So I'm going to get one out just so I can use that as a guide for the other plants. Because we've got a couple of options as far as shrubs go. I just need to make sure it's something that's going to line up height-wise. I think that one could work height-wise. And I do need to get this in place before I get the shrubs themselves in place. What about the more bulbous one? Or was that the more bulbous one? No, this one. This one. The spherical shape. Spherical. I can't word. Let me see. Coming off the corner here. Because I don't want it to cut into the walking path, because that looks like it wouldn't be fun to walk past. You can rotate them to get slightly different effects as well. I feel like that might be the closest we get. Alright, I'm gonna call that good. Also, this is a big boy plant, so we can't walk fast. Line that guy up. I don't know how far over we're going. Get another one of these out. There we go. First things first, though, we gotta put this plant in the ground. I'm committed now to this brown shrub. Hopefully the game doesn't count this as a tree. Okay. I can move this guy over a little more. Let me go around from the side, though, so I can line it up a little bit better. Okay, right there and right there. I think that works. Get some more of these out. We've got 2 there. So we could go 1, 2 there. See how it looks from the front. 1, 2. Actually, on this side, we do need to be a little more spaced, don't we? Because we need some kind of an entry. At least right here we do. So I'm gonna go right there with that one. Not sure how much space that is, but what I can do is kind of line this one up with that one. And just walk it straight back. I did come a little over to the side, though. Alright. Fine-tune it, bring it forward just enough that it's lined up with that. Is that correct spacing? I can't really tell. I don't think it is. Do I have this one further into the bush than I have the other one? I feel like I must, if that's the spacing problem I'm having. Alright, I'll just have to use the shrub to kind of help fine-tune it. Because what I can do is... I'm fairly sure that's a decent enough space. Come right here. Use that shrub to help me line it up. Double check my width there. That looks fine. I'm just going to throw that one right there because we can move it before we plant it. Okay, that looks fine. We need this guy. I'm just going to place these right there for right now. I can come back and fine-tune it, and then we can place the shrub, and that should tell us how far over those other ones need to be. Okay, that guy's fully in place. We've got that section right there. This guy needs to come in and over just a little bit. Same thing here, in and over just a little bit. Actually, that one needs to go back and over just a little bit, because I had those backwards. Hold on. Get out of here. Okay, I'm gonna call that good enough for right there. Okay. Now that we've got the spacing for this side down, I can go ahead and do the same thing on this side. I need my shrub boys first. And I'm just gonna go ahead and place 2 more over there so we don't have to mess with those anymore. Hold on. Let me get these 2 in the ground first. This will give us a spot for 2 different fountain setups we can put in. Okay. We need this guy. I'm going to use the sizing of this one to try and gauge how much space we need over here. Okay. Just a little bit off the sides of either one for the spacing. So this one would need to go roughly... Hold on. I can go ahead and place one down, I suppose. I'll just make sure to pick that one up in just a second. Okay, that's roughly about right. Two more aside from that. Those are in place. Let me get these guys lined up. Hold on. Let's see. We are going to have a line of... Oh, that's way too far over. That's fine. We're gonna need a line of, like, decorative grass or something to go right there. Okay. Place you in. I'm gonna move you real quick. Use the edge of that one to line that guy up. I'm gonna move you down. Grab this guy. The only thing I see being a problem is this pole right here being in the way. But through the power of rotation, we can get that to work too. Alright, get that guy placed in, and then we can actually start, like, placing down new gravel and getting the statues in. I think we also need like decorative boulders or something. I think we need decorative stones. Okay. There's 2 sections done. Good to go. We're starting to hit daytime again. Let me see. How much space? I want to say we've got a slightly bigger space over here. Left over to work with. Which kind of sucks because it's not going to be even. Well, like I said earlier, I need to focus on one thing at a time. So let's do surfaces. We'll go for... We'll go back to the 2-tone gravel, smallest size. Hold on, something tells me these two are not lined up, but it might just be perspective. I can't really tell. But I know a way to tell, and I probably should have used this method before I started placing things, especially plants that can't be pulled back up. Yeah, that's just slightly too far over. Alright, can I nudge this guy over a little touch? Little too far over. I'll put you back a little bit. Little further over a little bit. Alright, good enough. Got a perfect pathway in. Use these guys to try and find the center here. Other side. It's gonna be fun to see how far off this side is, considering this is the one I was a lot more meticulous with. Especially because I'm using the gravel to center myself. Okay. Still pretty off. That one could definitely come over a little bit, I think. We've got this guy to help us find the center here. Okay. Alright, and this side's off too. Yeah, that's gonna be way off. Okay, let me see. Can I nudge you over? And nudge you over as well. Okay, I guess this has to come back over a little bit, because I can't have too much of a gap between the two. It looks weird. Bring that guy over. That's fine. That's fine. Okay. We need fountains and statues, but real quick, I'm going to run to the bathroom. I'll be back in just a second, and we will get this little section taken care of. I got immediately swarmed by a very happy doggo when I stepped out. I do feel mildly bad because I closed the door again, but she will be okay. She's got her dad and she's got Jojo. All the other cats are in here with me anyway, so she wouldn't be happy. Let's see. Do we want to put down some lights? I feel like that would make sense. It's not listed on the list of requirements, but we could definitely put down like a modern little lamp. Go with the dark. Question is, where would we want to put it? We could put like one in the middle of each shrub to really light up this area. Especially if this is meant to be like a feature area with the fountains. I feel like that would make sense. Do it on both sides. We might throw some in on the paths as well, but I don't know. I feel like I'm really bad about forgetting little details like this, like lighting. It's one of those things that, like, I just don't think about. Okay, we've got our lighting in this little section. Good to go. Do we have any, like, modern lights that would go on the side of the house? Also, both of these would be super cute for the English garden. I don't see any that just, like, are modern that could go on the side of the house, so it's fine. Place one. There we go. Good luck opening the front gate, though. Alright, gonna move that up slightly so I can actually put it in. Move that one up slightly to match. Okay. Something tells me unless things just like start lining up and we start getting everything placed, like boom, 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 something tells me we're not going to get this garden finished today. Because we've already been working on it for like an hour and a half. Almost 2 hours. It's almost 2. But that's okay. Water decorations, that's what we need. And we want... What is this one? I feel like something like this could work, but... that is not the one that has been recommended to me. This is the one. Fountain steps. We have a bunch of different color options. We could go with the natural, dark gray, which kind of nice with that veining it's got going on. Sandy, which is what I usually go for because I do like this like rough rock look. There's a blue one, same colorway, or same pattern, just different colorway. We've got white, a flat blue, flat gray, The red has the veining too, it's just kind of hard to see. Dark blue, less veining, it's more of a flat. Same thing with the brown. The navy has the veining. I say veining, but like these little ridges. Light blue. Why am I getting denim jacket vibes from this? And then black with the kind of the lighter texturing comparatively to some of them. I think we'll go with the black. Hold on, how do we want this to look? Comparatively to the path, we go there. How much path? Trying to keep them in equidistance from the path itself, not from anything else. Because the path, I know I've got the distancing pretty okay. Like, it's the same width all the way around. None of that's changed. Go with this one. Over here. Over here. And over here. Alright. We've got two little fountain areas. I say little, but you know. Close enough to little. Do we want to put anything else in here? I'm gonna hold off. Hold back a little bit. Let me see something. How much space? Got one tile spacing. So I need to bring a path for you to actually, like, walk to this section. Make sure this is lined up. Alright, I'm gonna make this go even with the edge of that paver. Okay. Part of me wants to have another path with like a line of the decorative grass, but I don't know exactly how wide to do it. That might be fine. I don't know if I want to keep doing these small little pathways for the decorative grass, because I do want to use some of the like bigger grasses too. Mainly because they use up a bunch of space and I kind of like that, you know? It's very convenient. Alright, run this all the way across. Then this path should connect with the very edge of the last paver over here. It'll help define the space. Okay. Edge of this paver. And then line the two up. That works. So we've got space for another little set of decorative grass. And I might just go full speed ahead. Make sure that's lined up. That's as lined up as I can. With turning this into another section up here. go all the way to the back of this wall right here. Turn around and do the same thing going this way. Edge of the paver is where we're aiming for. This one's a lot more convenient because I don't have anything in the way. But I also don't have anything in the way because everything over there wasn't lined up correctly, which really sucks. Okay, making sure that's still lined up. If I start deviating even a little bit, it'll mess up the rest of the line. Okay. Got two big sections right there. Cool, 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 cool. Let me get some more of this bark back out. That's as close to even as I can get it. Oh, but that's not even anymore with the path. Hold on. Nope, not even. Gotta fix. Gotta fix. Like I said, if I let it get out of hand, it'll just stay messed up. Okay. Not wood shavings, bark. With it partially under the paver. That'll work. Good enough. Good enough for right now. That's all I'm going for, is good enough. Oh, that is slightly off. No. It's not gonna let me line it up because I'm too close to an already finished section of the same kind. Oh, there it goes. Sometimes it won't let you actually let go over things if there's just too much of the same thing already there. Alright, that's lined up. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I'm tempted to turn both of these side sections fully the bark and just fill it up with shrubs and pampas grass. But maybe we leave a little section in the very center as like a little walkthrough. We could throw like a couple of statues or something down in there. We'll see. We will see what happens. I actually don't know how wide that needs to be now. I got confused. Okay. That's not quite right. So it's this one with what looks like... I don't know the exact measurements in-game because I'm not sure of the scale, but it looks like an inch, half an inch, or a few centimeters difference. But as long as I've got the image of it in my head, about like that, I think. Having the first one placed down is all I need, because then I can just follow my edge line all the way down. As long as I keep it fully lined up, shouldn't have any issues. Did I messed that up slightly. Oh, come on. Okay, cool. Like I said, as long as I keep it lined up, no issues. I should be able to just follow my edge down. I've tried doing it before where I like set the edge on one end and then start on the other end and work my way down, and then I end up having like super deviating paths because all it takes is me messing up just the slightest bit. And also, even if this area looks completely squared, it's not. Like, this lot does have a defined shape to it, but the preset stuff like the fencing and the preset hedges that we can't change do deviate slightly, and there is a chance that the houses aren't completely even and straight. So it's better to form our own edge instead of relying on the game's edges. Especially on ones like this. Like, once we get to the English garden, we want it to be chaotic. We want it to be... I think the word that the guide I was looking at used is organic. But basically it means we don't want things to... Okay, that's an even edge. Cool, cool, cool. We don't want everything to be, like, perfectly neat and organized. We want it to look like flowers just popping up everywhere. Bushes here and there, wherever they felt like growing. Which is why I say chaotic instead of organic. But I'm not saying that is a bad thing. I like a little bit of chaos in my gardening. I mean, shoot, I'm the person that literally has a giant bag of clover seed that I plan on putting down in the yard whenever we get fully moved in at the house next year. Or not even fully moved in. I say next year. But once the grass dies back this year, we're going to try and take the steps to hopefully keep the grass away. Okay. Nice and even. We could actually probably... Oh, that's not going to stay there because we're probably going to have another path coming off that. But what I was going to say is we could probably run some of this off this edge too and have like a little mini section. Or we could make it a bigger section. It just depends on how things start lining up in a minute. We'll see. We will see. Okay. Go ahead and line this up too. And last little piece for that one right now. I think if I do... Well, that's not quite to the edge of that paver, is it? I think if I do fill in that entire section, maybe I should use a different aggregate than the bark. We could switch it out for the wood chips. The only thing I have with the wood chips is they are more of a orangey yellow tone than the bark is. I mean, obviously the bark, you can change the color of it, so you can have more of an orangey yellow tone if you want. I just don't necessarily want an orangey yellow tone. Let me see. Worst case scenario, we can pull it up. Okay, so it's not terrible. Maybe I should define this space first. Okay, off the back of these, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 5 and 2/3 to the hedge. 5 and 2/3, 5 and 2/3, 5 and 2/3, 5 and 2/3. Back of that. Two, 3, 4, 5, and 2/3 would put it at, like, right there for the actually defined space for that. So what I could do is make those two sections even, like, same items placed in, but make this section bigger. Or I could make them the same and have, like, a small separate area of shrubs right there. And I think that might be my best bet for keeping it even. Everything else about it should be the same if I do it this way. We should be able to place everything down. Easy peasy, no problems. Follow the bottom edge for right now. Okay. And I don't really want to get too carried away. You know what? I will go ahead and fill the whole thing in. We can come back and figure out the damn entry path for it in a minute. Worry about that in a minute. I know this is technically in the gravel section, so I get why it's making the sound. But this one isn't gravel, technically. So it does bother me a little bit that it makes the gravel sound. But at the same time, it'll be okay. It will be okay. And then we've got this one at 2.5. So just line that up good. I said line that up good. Oh, come on. Okay, that one's saying it's too much of the same thing right there, so I can't do that. That's okay, we can come back and fix it in a minute. Not the end of the world, just mildly annoying. Go ahead and fill all of this in while I can. I'm gonna try and be careful in case it hits an autosave again. See what I said? And see how my mouse stuttered? Okay. Line that one up. And that one. Carefully in case I hit an autosave. Okay, gotta go in with the small one. Okay. We need coniferous shrubs. Again. Because for this area, we could use these bigger ones. Oh, that's not a bigger one. Oops. Is this one a bigger one? That one is a bigger one. Because what we could do is make this the centerpiece here. And then put a small squared off path all the way around it. And then surround that with the grass. Do have to line it up good if I'm going to do that, though. Which means I might want to do the pathing first and then place it. Which kind of goes against exactly what I said I was going to do last time. We've also got this guy. He's in a regular shape. He's a significantly bigger boy. We could do that. I think it's going to be the best way to use these big shrubs. Let me see. I'm still sticking with this two-toned gravel for the actual pathways. So what is my midpoint here? I'm gonna say that's probably my midpoint. I'll try to judge it best guess style. Okay, cool, cool, cool. I've got that just far enough in that I can see it. Okay. This might be too big for what I'm trying to do. This might be way too big for what I'm trying to do. Way too big. Too big. About right? Because I can always come back in. Yeah, because I wanted it to be a smaller path. I can come back in and fill in those little gappings in a second. It's not like a ton smaller, but it is enough that it'll be a little bit easier. I'm gonna go ahead and take care of that bark while I can. Or wood shavings. Line up the edging. And line up the edging. On both sides. Just because I might as well have this done. Oh, think it just shifted over to daytime. Might as well have this done while I've got the tool out already. It's the same reason why I was going back and forth. Along with the symmetry portion of it, it's just convenient to go ahead and place things if I know I'm going to need them while I've got the tool out. Alright, this should still be the same size that we were using. Smallest setting. Don't know how wide we want this to be. I'll just do the eyeball method. That's not meeting up. Eyeball method's already off to a rough start. Like, again, worst case scenario, I can come back in with the bark and fix it. This does need to come down a little touch more. Right there. I think... Oh no, that is too small now. Hold on. Go in with the bark first. Fix it. Fix it now. I've got like a little touch more in the actual edge. Like about that much. Okay, back in with the gravel. Square, small size. I'll try to use this to actually judge it, now that I know rough measurements of it. It's one and like a little tiny portion of it. A tiny portion. So I feel like I could probably pull it down to there. Nope. Slightly off. That's okay. Like I said, we got the wood shavings to come and rescue it. Right there. And then tiny little portion off the top. Which it didn't take off, because if it's still got the white outline, sometimes it doesn't take off. Gotta wait for it to turn green. I'll count that good enough. Okay. A little further in than I think I actually need to go. And I still overjudged it. I'm not good with the eyeball method today. Alright. There's our edge. To there. Okay. Shouldn't be as hard with the other one because we do have a defined edge over there that we can use. that there, and then line up the two edges, and come on, place. Does it help if I move away for a second and then come back? It does. I need to remember that. Okay. Call that good enough. We put the shrub in the center. We can put some statues around it, or some lights, or both. Okay. That one. And a touch. So that should be our new defined edge for this side. That one there. Actually connect the two pieces, please. There we go. And that one there. Connect this section now. Now that I have it more or less lined up with where it needs to be. Alright. How close is that to being good? I can come over, like, a little bit of a fraction more on this side. So, like, right there, I think. I don't know if that took. It doesn't seem like it. Okay, it's still not gonna line up. Oh. Worst case scenario, I'm just gonna go ahead and get that. I'll come back in with the bark in just a second. I'm gonna have to do the same thing over here anyways, I feel like. How's this one look? Actually, that one's perfect. That one's perfectly lined. So I'll hold off on fixing that one until I need to fix another section. Since I managed to get this one perfect on the first try. At least for that side. Okay, this one. Bring it in. Like that. We can come out another... looks like a couple inches. Say about there. Hopefully I've got that lined up correctly. Okay, we could still do with coming out a little bit further. Like about... there, I guess? Yeah, I'm gonna call that close enough, although I could probably... It's not giving me the issue I was having in the other section where it wasn't displaying that it was gonna be able to turn. Alright, now that's perfect. So it's just that one little section, of course. Since I said I'll come back and fix it whenever I actually need to use the thing again. Of course that's not gonna line up correctly. Say about there. How's that look? Are you really kidding me right now? That's pretty much perfect. Well then. Cool. That just means I need to fix that, and that's it. Which, I mean, fine by me. Okay. Back to the bark, or wood shavings, rather. Clean up this little edge. Perfect. We can do our shrub in the very center, and then we can go around and place other things. Cool, cool. Coniferous. We're going with the big boy shrub, right? This guy. Coniferous dwarf shrub, carpet shape. Hold on. Did I scroll up or something? No, I didn't. That one's creeping pine. We've got red cedar. Savin. Creeping pine again, and Pfizer juniper. I don't really see a... There's a slight, like, color deviation. Okay, with the size of this pathing now, I might need to go with a slightly smaller shrub. So let's see, how does creeping dense shape look? European spruce. Actually, that works a lot better. See if I can center it. I don't know if I can, because I'm horrible at judging these things when I'm standing so close up to them. I'll just place it for now. We'll come back and check its placement in a second. Go place one over here. Same thing. I'm horrible at judging until... Yeah, see what I mean? I'm horrible at judging these when I'm standing so far away. Or standing so close up on them. Just slowly getting it centered. Pull it back a little. Nope, now it's too far forward. I think that might be... Okay, night hit really quick and that confused me. Gosh, I wish there was an easier way to, like, center these guys. I mean, I could break this space up into smaller quadrants and work with that, but I don't really want to do that. Alright, how far off are you? Very. Too far over there. Just gotta keep going around it in circles and making minor adjustments here and there. It just doesn't look centered, though. Alright, the hole will actually tell us how centered it really is, because we don't have to worry about the branches getting in the way. Good, good, good. We could actually put some of the smaller decorative grass around that and use the bigger ones in these wider sections. I think that's, yeah, that's also pretty close to centered. Good enough, and like I said, that's all we're striving for, is good enough. We're going to follow the parameters of the Modern Gardens layout as closely as possible, while also just being good enough. That's all we need. Good enough. Okay. I wanted to get some statues in here too. That be decorations, sculptures. And I believe the statues they want are these lanterns. Japanese simple, tall, and on a bridge. Let's see. We do need to keep them symmetrical. So for these two front sections, I'm going to go with... I think this one's the... Yeah, this one's the bigger one. So I'm going to go with the lantern on a bridge for these sections. We can still fill in with some decorative grass here in a second. And I might need to double check if we need bamboo. I still don't know. I don't recall seeing it on the list, but it's also a thing of, like, I've had to cobble together two different guides because one of the guides had some of the information and the other one had the other information. Like, they both shared some things in common, but they both also deviated slightly in some spots. So I'm not 100% sure which one is the complete and definitive version. But for right now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab some lights. We're going to go with the solar light. It says lamp anyways. I can't talk and I can't read. We're going to go with this directly in the center. We'll do a small patch of decorative grass on either side. But this does need to be well lit, because this is meant to be a decorative feature of the yard, so, you know. And yeah, we're definitely going to be doing more gardening next time. I can already see it. Because the other ones are fairly straightforward. It's the gardening DLC is honestly the one that takes more, as far as the ones that I have so far. Because there's also the Pets DLC, and they're working on the Farming DLC, and all that good stuff. Like I've said before, these developers have ambitious ideas for this game, and I am here for it. I love it. I have to hold myself back from playing more in my, like, anytime I have free time. Because, like, part of the thing I'm trying to do here is, like, get out of the comfort zone that I usually stick into. Like I said, normally I don't do... Oh, excuse me. Can I get it out? Thank you. Normally I wouldn't do... as many... Some of the color options that I've chosen so far. Just because, like, I tend to stick with, very bland colorways. Like, I would never do red on the walls, but I did it this time because I'm trying to branch out. That's the words I was looking for. I'm trying to branch out from my comfort zone. That's the words. Alright, small decorative grass to go on either side of the lights. I think we'll just stick with the base one, the Carex. Kind of on the dry grass look, but that works. Good enough for me. Okay. More on the other side. I'm also trying to, like I said, slow down and not get ahead of myself, because I have a bad habit, especially when I do the modern garden, of just like grabbing the pampas grass or whatever grass and just like holding down right click and walking through backwards. And it ends up with a very wonky line. Like I said, this one's all about symmetry, so probably shouldn't do that. Hold on, we're gonna do another set of coniferous plants in the corners. Did I mistype? No. I must have clicked a button that was also a trigger button for something. And it was like, you can't do that right now. Or I can't do that right now. Oh well. We'll go with this small oval one. I think that could work for defining the space. Go middle of the corner, middle of the corner, middle of the corner, and middle of the corner. I'm trying to line it up with like the edge of the pathing there, because that I know we tried to measure as closely as we could on both sides. So middle of the corner. And like I've said before, once we have these edges defined, that gives us a better shot of getting the rest of this lined up better. Good enough. That one's done. That one's done. Or this one's almost done. Actually, I want to check and see if we have any skill points. We have one for building. We'll do faster building. I was hoping we'd have one for, like, installing the plants faster, but I think... Have we completed the gardening stuff? Oh, we have, so this is as fast as we can go. Never mind. It won't let us go further beyond. You done? Okay. This one is a little close to this other shrub, but whatever. Okay. Good enough. I'm gonna hold off on the watering for right now. Get them all at the same time. I just want to get them in the ground right now. Okay. How far away can I get them? Not far enough away, apparently. We do have to be a little bit closer. Cool, cool. I do like kind of testing and seeing how far away I can get away with things in this game sometimes. Other plants. Decorative grass. We're gonna go with... What about this broad grass? How does... That one could work. Pampas grass? The pampas grass is going to be way too wide for this space, I think. But I do know where the pampas grass would look good at. I have to walk slowly because this is heavy grass here. Very, very heavy grass. Can't move any faster. Just can't do it. But what I can do is line this up, make sure I'll just go off to the side real quick so I can see if I have that lined up more or less. I think I do. I can always place it and come back and fix it. No big deal. Alright, I think that's about the center. Alright, they could all stand to come back just slightly, and I can use their old placement to kind of figure out the new placement. Then we can get another one of our broad grasses to go in between the two. We'll go with... Actually don't know how tall the pampas grass was, so... How tall is this? Actually, that could work. Go with this big boy in between them. Okay. Looks like it's clipping slightly. Oh, is that just how the plant's texture is gonna look now? Okay, never mind. Good enough. Alright, what about something like this? That could work. Do that there. And there. There and... there. I can always come back and adjust these if they are not quite even. So no worries there. And again, this is heavy grass. I can't walk any faster. think we go with that broad decorative grass that I was looking at originally for some of this space. The issue comes in with the fact that we have the opening right here for our little pathway to connect in. So that's the only section that's going to be incompatible, so I might have to just leave a gap over there so that way it is symmetrical. I don't know if I need to put another line of... Do you know what? Just for the sake of knowing that this isn't the reason our layout is messed up. Is that right? No, it's more like that. And it's... I can actually pull it back down a little bit and... right there, I think? That looks like it's about center. Do that on the other side too, so that way I don't even have to worry about that being an issue for the layout. Alright, step back a little bit. Line it up, and that looks about even. Cool. Cool beans. Alright. Plants. Decorative grass. And it was this ornamental broad grass that I was looking at. And we can do it in... Honestly, that looks pretty good. But it's like the perfect space to go in between the path and that grass. So I can just put one of those on... right that. And then I can get another decorative grass right there. But before I do that, let me get the other side. Perfect. Perfect. Perfect, and perfect. Or, instead of putting another decorative words I cannot speak. No, I'm gonna stick with the decorative grass, because I was gonna say I could put another statue in, one of the different types, but I think we hold off on that. Let's see, which ornamental grass were we using? When in doubt, go back to the start. Because I think it was this one. Yes. Place that there. But I'm pretty sure we're going to have more little decorative spots like this, because we have an absolute ton of yard to use up. So we're probably going to have more little decorative patches like that, and we can use the other statues there. Maybe throw in some more fountains somewhere along the way. Oh, did I miss this spot? Okay, well, I'll give it best judgment there. Give me this back. Thank you. It's this colorway. There we go. Because somehow I wasn't paying attention and I didn't place these down. There we go. Alright. We've got some statues in, the grass. Everything is nice and even there. That's nice and even now. We have an absolute ton of yard to use up. And then we've got 2 more little patches. And I think for these, we're going to do these little small grasses we used originally. Decorative grass, these little ornamentals. We might use this one, because I liked this red grass tone. That guy. That guy. That guy. That guy. That guy. And that guy. Swap it to the green. Is that the same shade again? Yes, it is. Green, green, and green, green. Okay. Then we've got this guy in this shade. We could probably fit in... Is that the same size? Yeah, that's the same size, so never mind. We'll stick with this guy. Oh, shoot. Slipped slightly and misplaced that. Not the end of the world, though. I think these little side strips of decorative grass are probably going to be all we really have time for the rest of the stream. Ooh. Wait. I need to place this over slightly because that's meant to be pathing. Let me go ahead and get that pathing in. I completely forgot to come back to it. Largest fitting we have. Edge of this. Place it. Place that. And line these two up. Okay. Okay. Nice and evenly placed there now. Cool, cool, cool. I can get back to my grass now. And I actually had managed to place that correctly. Never mind. Alright. Need this little guy in this shade. This guy back out again. And then we'll switch back to the red grass in a second. I honestly don't use these little grasses very often, but I feel like I should because I kind of liking them. If you couldn't tell. Okay. Red tone. Bring it back out. Centered. Centered. Green colorway. Centered. Centered. another splash of the red ones, and then we'll go back to the small decorative grass and the blooming decorative grass. Alright. It's this guy in this colorway. Place him there and there. Let's see, we would have one there, so probably there. One there, so probably there and there. We can adjust those placements in a second. I just didn't want to have to get this back out if I didn't have to. There, space, there, and there. There. And like I said, we'll redo the spacing in a second. Wait. Not this colorway, this colorway. That guy. I'm gonna have to get that back out. Okay. How'd I do on spacing on this side? It's actually significantly better on this side. So, we have managed to get some of our statues, some of our fountains, a little pathway up, more fountains, more statues, filler space because everything didn't line up correctly. Another little pathway leading to the back end. Let's see, maybe I can try and define a couple more spaces. Like, I might use that whole big section right there. Let me get this guy back out. I might use this whole big section as... line that guy up as our sitting section, sitting area, whatever you want to call it. We can probably do something similar on the other side of the house as well. I'll kind of count it out the same way I did on the front yard to see if I've got everything lined up correctly. And at the moment, I'm thinking of filling this space with the only other gravel type we haven't used yet, which is more of a brown gravel, more standard rock color. Okay, got that section there. Like I said, we'll do the same thing over here, more or less. Or at least define the space in the same way. It doesn't have to match, but I do want to define the space in the same way so that we can better define this space back here better. Or more evenly. Don't know how well that's going to work considering we've got the whole little path section right there. But we'll see. Worst case scenario, I take off one of those sections of like this little front section of planks and run another line of the decorative grass. Worst case scenario. That would be the best way to like define that space though too. To like break it up. Okay, I'm gonna call that good enough. Like I said, we can come back and remove this line and fill it in with more decorative grass because we have ways of making entry points. But I think, did I miss? I did. I missed one of these broadleaf I was missing those really good today, huh? Did I miss any more? Now is the time to, like, double check myself and make sure everything is as symmetrical as possible in the sections we already have defined. Because I doubt I'm going to remember to come back and check them later. Front walk path's fine. This section looks the same as the front section. This section looks fine. Don't think I missed any more grass. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Well, I think that is gonna do it for that. Anything else is gonna end up taking way too much time to do. So I think we're gonna hold off, call that good for right now. Next Sunday we'll come in and finalize this garden. We'll do the back half of it and the sides. The hardest part for the modern garden is well, honestly for any of the gardens, is figuring out where to start. So it's kind of like when you've got a completely blank empty house, just trying to figure out where to start. It's the hardest part of it. But once we've got kind of a direction that we're going in, a little bit easier to keep yourself on course. But yeah. So we're going to work more on the garden next time. Something tells me it's going to be mostly gardens for the foreseeable future. We might hold off on doing the garden at the first office and just focus on getting the camper bungalow completely done and then selling that and maybe getting a new one to kind of break it up. Because I don't want to burn myself out on just doing gardens, because I have done that before where I had to take a break from playing the game just because I did nothing but gardens nonstop. I don't really want to do that, so we might just work on this garden. I know for sure that's going to be the task for next time, is finishing up this modern garden, and then after we get that sold, we'll take a break from doing gardening, and we'll buy a new house. I don't know which house we're going to go with yet, but we will buy a new house. Honestly, it's probably dependent on how much we make from selling the camper bungalow, so we better do a good job on the garden. But yeah, I stream every day at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time until 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, alongside on Sundays doing this special stream at 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. Generally speaking, every day we cycle through either Stardew Valley or No Place Like Home. Currently, that is subject to change as we get, obviously, to a natural ending point of one of the games. I will cycle in a new game. So we did No Place Like Home last night. We'll do Stardew tonight. We are mainly going to be focused on... It would normally be a mining week, and we are going to go mining at least once. But I'm thinking of holding off on the second mining trip because there's some stuff on the farm that needs to be taken care of. And I was contemplating whether or not we should streamline things and start doing the once-a-week mining again, which should be easier once I get rid of the preserve jars, which is something we're going to work on this week, tonight. We're going to change out the preserve jars for kegs. I won't have to change them out until the end of the week, so that should free up the beginning of the week for other things. But being very generous with the pricing for the preserve jars, it still did not compare to the pricing of the wine from the kegs. So I can't deny it anymore. It's better for us time-wise. It's better for us financially. Preserve jars were a fantastic idea when we were first getting started. But now that we have more and more valuable incomes options, it's just better for us to switch out to kegs. So we're going to do that tonight. It's probably going to take a while for us to replace all of the preserve jars just because there's almost 400 preserve jars available on that farm. And I am kind of handicapped by the amount of oak resin we have to make kegs. So we're going to have to harvest some more oak resin. Maybe I'll plant some oak trees over at the desert. We'll see how that goes. I don't know if I'm going to do that or not. But yeah. Next time on No Place Like Home, we're going to be looking for Harold. I believe that's the guy's name. I hope it's the guy's name, because that's what I put in the description. We have to go hunting for Harold for Mark. um, so that we can try and see if we can befriend him, which will in turn befriend us to Mark so he can tell us where the hell our grandpa went. But yeah, if neither of those sound interesting to you, in the description of this stream and every stream I do, I have a link to my fiance, Shiny Haunter. He does TFT, and currently he is playing Cyberpunk 2077. So if either of those sound interesting to you, feel free to pop in for there. I will warn you on the Cyberpunk, he is prone to doing 5 to almost 6 hour streams on games that he enjoys like that. He normally has the same streaming schedule as me, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time until 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Words I cannot speak. But he did end up going over on that one last night. He gets engrossed in the game. It's fun. It is a fun game. I will give him that. So if either of those sound interesting to you, feel free to go check them out. They have fun over there. But you know, feel free to not take my word for it. I am biased on this subject. But yeah, I'm gonna go before I ramble anymore and mess up my words anymore. Thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight. Feel free to come back later. This is afternoon. It's still daytime. Holy crap. Sunday streams always throw me off because I get so used during the week to only being, like, at night. But, thank you guys for hanging out with me right now. Feel free to come back and join me tonight for Stardew if that sounds like fun. If not, that's your choice. I'm not your mom. I can't force you. I hope you have a wonderful morning, day, afternoon, night, whatever it is, wherever you are. And until next time, bye-bye.